Hi everyone, my name is Liz I Read and welcome to another daily reading vlog. So it's later in the day, but at the beginning of the day I was in the middle of two things. I am physically reading Cold-Hearted Rake. I didn't read any of this yesterday, so I have nothing to update, but this is obviously a Regency romance or historical romance, and we follow Devin, and he has just recently inherited an earldom, and he's not excited about it because he's a rake. But the widow of his cousin, who was the earl previously, they were just recently married, but now she's a widow, and he may or may not take her and her sisters-in-laws under his wing. I don't know yet. I've barely read anything. I've read 28 pages, but I am hopefully gonna get to this today. We'll see. And the beginning of the day today, I was in the middle of I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella, and I've been listening to it on audiobook. I was doing a lot of like puttering around yesterday and was really enjoying it. I listened to way into the night, really too late. I was listening to it endlessly because I was just so engaged. I was like obsessed. Eventually I did turn it off, but then picked it back up again today. So I probably had like 2 hours left when I got up this morning. So we are gonna start the vlog from early this morning. So we're gonna start the vlog right now.
They're still running a follow-up piece and claiming they were the ones who discovered everything. The whole company's going to be shaken up by them.
What do you guys, where are we going?
To the forest to go hiking.
Yep, we're going on the hike. Let's go.
I heard the please turn it on.
Tell me you feel it, tell me you know it, tell me you're cold and tell me I'm water, and you just keep drowning. Days of thunder I hear, they come when you're near. Why must all that I touch always fall into dust? We are fluid like the ocean waters, but you only crave for solid ground. Something on your mind is the comfort I can offer.
Come down.
Just this once for the city before us. So tell me you feel it, tell me you know it, tell me I'm loved and tell me I matter.
I can see that now. If I could go back in time, I'd do it differently.
So as of right now, I have finished I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella, and I absolutely loved it. I really did. I love her books so much. They're just so engaging and so funny, and this one was no different. I felt like I should probably talk about the synopsis, and I realize now that I didn't talk about the synopsis. So I've Got Your Number is about a young woman who is engaged to this other young man, but she was like at a hotel, I forget why, but she loses her engagement ring and she's like devastated and she doesn't know what to do, and she's asking the help of the hotel staff to try and keep their eyes open for it. What happened was she let her friends, like she was at like some kind of function, try on her ring, and in the kerfuffle it got misplaced. There was a fire drill. It was like chaotic. And she's desperately trying to find this ring. In the meantime, she loses her phone. Like someone like literally steals it out of her hands. And she is desperate because she's given the hotel staff her number and her friends have her number to try and contact her. So luckily she finds a phone in the rubbish bin. She doesn't know why it's there, but she starts using it and she finds out it's owned by this businessman, and this businessman, he wants his phone back. It was from his PA, and his PA walked out on him. And so they strike up a deal where she will help him with some of his business stuff, like his emails and text messages and things like that, if she can borrow this phone, because she's so desperate to find this ring. It's become clear that her relationship with her fiance is a little rocky. Her relationship with her fiance's parents is even more rocky. And in the meantime, she's starting to develop this relationship with this businessman, and feelings arrive there, and she snoops around in his business affairs and it's hilarious. There's a lot of hijinks that happen in this book, and a lot of Sophie Kinsella books are like that. It's very like a rom-com feel. It's completely like it's chick lit, so it's super clean. Like there's no smutty bits or anything. It's just a fun time. I feel like I'm watching like a rom-com when I'm reading these. So I had an amazing time reading this. Since it's like kind of older, it reads like a traditional rom-com, and so there are rom-com tropes in here, and there's something I don't know if it's really a spoiler, but I've just felt like the ending was carrying on over and over again, especially when it comes to her relationship with her fiance. It just was dragging out so much, and it gets a little eye-rolly because she's engaged, and engaged means you're getting married, so she's obviously preparing for her wedding. And at the end of the story, there's like, the whole wedding. Maybe I shouldn't get into it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it being dragged out. I wished she could have resolved her relationship with her fiance sooner and not drag it out to like the last minute, which Sophie Kinsella definitely did. And like it was fine, but it was just like kind of cringy a little bit, and it's just like, really, we're gonna drag this out right till the last minute, this relationship, because you desperately want her to be with someone else. So I wasn't like the hugest fan of that, but it's a rom-com, it's a chick lit. Sometimes those kind of stories fall under those tropes. So like I'm not really that upset by it, but I think I'm gonna give this probably like a 4.5 stars because it was dragged out so long, and I kind of wish it was maybe resolved differently. But it was so much fun. I had a lot of fun listening to it, and I definitely recommend the audiobook. It's great. It's an English, I don't know, voice actress, I guess you can say, and she was fantastic, and she did, the voices really well, and I just love listening to English accents anyway. So it was so much fun, and as of right now, I think I'm going to maybe pick up Everything on audiobook. I really enjoyed my experience, and I feel like getting into the audiobook groove, and so I kind of don't want to I don't want to stop my stride with that. So I think that might be the next one I pick up. I'm not 100% sure, but I really enjoyed like the contemporary romance feel, because I don't know, it felt like I was like, even though I was listening to it, but I felt like I was like watching a movie, and I enjoyed that. So I think that really works for me. I do want to physically read this at some point because I really ought to, but I do have other chores to do today, so finding an audiobook will be a good idea.
Listening Library presents Everything by Nicola Yoon. Read for you by Bonnie Turpin, with Robbie Damond.
It is the end of the day, so it's time to close up this vlog. I do want to tell you that I did pick up Everything by Nicola Yoon, and I'm listening to it on audiobook, so I've decided to give myself grace when it comes to reading physically because I just had so much things to do, but I'm just proud that I was able to listen to some audiobooks while I was puttering around, and hopefully maybe tomorrow I can actually physically read. Either way, it's reading, it doesn't actually matter. But I'm like a third of the way through, so it's like a 300-page book, so I'm about like 100 pages in, which is great. It's super short. I'm realizing afterwards that it has like multimedia stuff in here, so she's like rattling like other stuff off, and it's kind of hard to pay attention, but for the most part, like, I'm grasping the story. So this one, we follow Maddie, I think, or Madeline, and she is severely sick. She's basically like a bubble kid. She stays in her house all the time, and the only people that she's in contact with is her nurse and her mother, and her mother's a doctor, and that's all she knows. Those are the only people she's in constant contact with, and every once in a while maybe a teacher can stop by, but it's a huge process for anyone to visit her. They have to like get decontaminated and things like that, and they're just nervous that she will get sick. And I forget what the disease is specifically, but she just can't go outside and she's very vulnerable. Then there's a boy next door who moves in. They start developing a relationship online by like emailing and instant messenger, I guess, and they develop a relationship, and then her nurse allows her to visit Ollie. She's not telling her mother, they're not telling her mother, and they are visiting each other. That is the story so far. I'm liking it okay. It's fine. I'm not like super crazy about it, but I do want to read this because I want to watch the movie at some point, and I'm like fairly entertained. Not a lot is happening, but there's always a fear that if she pushes this relationship and, you know, she's struggling with not wanting to get to her hopes too high, or not even just her hopes, she just doesn't want to be left disappointed because nothing can really go that far. She can't touch this other person, and you can't really base a relationship around that. So I've been hesitant to read this book because I really don't like sad stories. I don't like people, you know, I don't want to be crying over a death or just a tragic love story where they don't end up together. And so I've been putting this book off for a long time. I have been spoiled for this one, so I know how it does end. That's okay. I don't mind having been spoiled. But that is this day's reading vlog. I ended up finishing I've Got Your Number. I finished it this morning, and I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. And I'm currently in the middle of Everything by Nicola Yoon, and I'm still in the middle of Cold-Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas, but I need to stop. I'll get to it when I get to it. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. If you've read any of these books before, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about them. Do you like them? Do you not like them? I would love to have a conversation with you in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you've not done so. You can follow me on Goodreads and Instagram. And you know what? I want you to keep reading. Bye.